All right, so we got some drama with the light. Anyway, so the edit's coming along just fine. I just wanted to do a little generalized update. But I'm kind of changing my workflow a little bit. Instead of just kind of doing bits and pieces at a time, I think I'm just going to clear up the audio as best as I can and then go back and layer in like the room tone and like the sound effects and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm jumping back and forth and it's like causing me stress a little bit. I don't know. It's like I'm like thinking about it too much. Is my microphone on? Did I even check that? Well, if the audio sounds like garbaggio, that is. But I'm running into like tiny little issues that I'm like kind of figuring it out, of like the audio track changing when there's two people on screen. So basically what I mean by that is there were times where the actors had to share lavs, and so it would be like, let's say like track one was like Cordelia, and then later on in the scene I had to take my lav and share it with somebody else, so then it would have became like Jude's lav or something like that. So track one not only becomes Cordelia, but also Jude's dialogue as well. So that's like confusing me a little bit. There was like, I was working on the fight in the kitchen, and my lav suddenly turned into Rigby's lav, and it took me a second to figure out what was going on there. But the reason why I'm filming tonight's episode of me editing is because I was thinking of a nice transitional song for scene 35 into scene 36. And I want to use House of the Rising Sun again, but I want to do a new composition of it, because I think that the piano ballad isn't correct for this scene. But I was listening to Sinead O'Connor's version of House of the Rising Sun, and I almost want that version. But I need some like musical geniuses that can make me that version. And I really only want a very specific part of the song. It's the line that says, "Oh mother, tell your children not to do what I have done, to spend their lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun." It's that line, because I'm not spoiling the scene because it's kind of a spoiler-ish scene. Just because there's some stuff that gets revealed in that scene. But I feel like that part of the song really reflects the Evans family in this moment. And to kind of go into a little like lore of these films, but like when I was plotting the events of House of the Rising Sun, I was just kind of listening to music, and I was driving home from work, and I heard the song House of the... because at that point I don't think I had it named yet. And I was listening to it and I was like, oh, okay, this is exactly the tone and this kind of story I'm wanting to tell. So that's why I named House of the Rising Sun movie after the name of the song. So as I was writing, I was studying the lyrics a little bit more, and then when I was writing Spirit, I also wanted the lyrics to kind of reflect the characters in a way. So like, it's funny because in Dolly's version of House of the Rising Sun, it's about a brothel. But like what's so nice about these lyrics and what the House of the Rising Sun represents basically is like, it's basically a house, some sort of turmoil. So in essence, for Eleanor, her house, which is why also Alice calls her the Rising Sun, she is a embodiment of sorrow and strife. Basically, literally what Dolly says in her song. And in this moment, the mothers are basically at a loss. So this is the downward spiral, the Evans mothers, basically. So that's why I would like, oh mother, tell your children not to do what I have done, to spend their lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. So I think that moment in that song, oh my God, the way my mind would be blown if I could just hear it in like this sequence. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find Sinead O'Connor's version and I'm just gonna put it in there just to see what it sounds like. And then I'm gonna find some creative folks to sing me or compose me a bit of that song. And I have some creative folks in mind, but I think right now it might just be a piano riff, but we'll see. We have time, so no spoilers. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear the scene, but I could also just mute this part. I kind of almost want it to fade in very slowly. Why the fuck would you do that?
Would you think they made their choice, Lucy, as we made ours?
Okay, so we need to really fade that in. So we need to
Get the Luna's cabin for a bit. Yeah, as long as they're okay with it. Ellie, no. Ellie, no. Why the fuck would you think they made their choice, Lucy, as we made ours?
Oh, did I not take that ooh out? Oh. Okay, it kind of works. I don't know. Hang on, I need. Okay, so I made a little mistake. It's fine. I can figure the mistake out. So I accidentally forgot to not get a line of dialogue, a voiceover line basically, for a specific scene. Now, there are two ways that I can handle this. The first way is delete the scene. It is very short. It's just Rigby, and it's basically, the entire scene is basically all voiceover, essentially. The second thing is I could fix it with voiceover. The point in the film where Rigby has to go find Eleanor. So Agatha, who is one of the witches, is talking to Rigby, to his mind, basically. But what is being said isn't necessary to, like, the arc, I guess, is really the best guess. So, like, I can fix it really easily based off of the reaction I got from my actor in the scene. So, because I play Agatha, and the person that played Rigby, Chase, I no longer have availability in being able to access him. So, it's either one of two things. I'm gonna ponder on that for a second. But I've also, like, looked at the scene, and then I looked at the scenes in between. And honestly, it would be okay if it got deleted, because nothing would have changed. So, and we already have a couple of deleted scenes already. So, we have two, I think, right now. And a lot of those scenes were just transition scenes that didn't really make sense. It kind of stopped the flow. And we know where he's going, because he says, I need to go find Eleanor. And that would just be more telling the audience, and there's not any nuance. So I might just delete it. I'll be back. And if I'm not back without an idea, then I don't know. Hi, I'm back. I made the executive decision to delete the scene. The scene has now been deleted. So there's two other scenes where Agatha's talking to Rigby. What I can do is just completely eliminate Agatha from this scene altogether. Wait a second. I just thought... Okay, hang on. I was literally contradicting my point when I was coming up with why we were going to delete scene 40. And that was a stupid idea. Not to delete scene 40. We can definitely delete scene 40. It doesn't need to exist in this part. That was just me overwriting. But me contemplating why Agatha was in the scene to begin with was a stupid thought on my part, because it literally contradicts why Agnes is in this scene to begin with. So, do I know my movie? That's fine, because Rigby can just be trying to find Eleanor, so it could just be his dialogue and we could just cut out anything about Alice. And then this part where Alice actually comes in and is like, stop, basically, in her sultry, sexy voice. That part can stay. So anything with Agatha we could just take out with Rigby. And then it would be almost as if she didn't exist. And you guys wouldn't have known unless I told you specifically, which is what I'm doing right now. If you watch these vlogs or not. Aren't these BTS videos fun? Are you guys watching them? Scene 46, I'm definitely gonna have, not scene 46, scene 45, I'm definitely gonna have to work on, because my lav, it crackles a lot, so there are times where the lavs are just bad, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of looking into that. So, I'm just doing this so then the main timeline itself doesn't look so crazy and I'm not like panicking while I'm looking at it. So I've actually switched to just doing the room tone inside the nested sequence. So if you watched my second vlog, I was showing you my nested sequences. I'm just gonna do the room tone in there because there are certain bits of, or certain periods of time, like in scene 5, where I had to use the boom and turn the boom up a little bit, so there's a lot more hissing involved. So I'm trying to lace the room tone in with that, so then the passage of time doesn't sound so garbled and disgusting. There are a couple scenes that are gonna be like that, so I'm gonna have to continue to look into it. Then I'm gonna start placing the voiceover stuff and working more in tandem and figuring out the telekinetic sound effect. Then I need to go back and watch House of the Rising Sun to figure out how I did it, because I don't remember how I did it. That's the update. That is this vlog. So you're gonna see all different sides of Editor Autumn. So yeah. Anyway, if you celebrate Easter, have a happy Easter. Live in reverence if that is your thing. And be kind to one another, and I'll talk to you guys later.